Is 1 million VRA, which is Veracity's ecosystem token, do I think that's enough right there? Even though nothing I say is financial advice, I don't see why that's a bad figure. I'm not saying $1 million, right? I'm saying like 1 million VRA. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, what makes you think so? Well, here's the thing. Let's break this down. 1 million VRA times 50 cents. Now, 50 cents is my price target for VRA during this board. At that point, that's of course $500,000. Now, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to happen. I can't tell anyone to buy VRA. But again, if we do some simple math, that's $500,000. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, that's kind of bad. But really, I think that's pretty decent. Now, not to mention, let's say we tone things down. Let's say 25 cents, 250,000. Wow. Many people would consider that actually very fantastic. They would have a very decent amount to put theoretically or hypothetically for a down payment for a home. At least some of my friends would do that, right? Now, let's say someone's like, okay, yeah, this is just not going to make any sense. Okay, let's say like 5 cents. Okay, 1 million times 5 cents, that's $50,000. Now, granted, that's not necessarily the best. You can't even get like a Tesla Model S that's new, I think, theoretically, right? However, even besides that, I personally know some friends who have gone like, years backpacking all around the world with like less than that. Now, they're not living in 5-star hotels or anything like that, of course, but then, at least they're able to explore. You know what I mean? Now, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but when people say, hey, is 1 million VRA enough? Well, theoretically, I think personally for me, I don't see why that's a bad amount. Now, keep in mind, what makes Veracity so special? It's the fact that not only is its ecosystem token, as of right now, has a market cap that's below $20 million. So again, this is kind of crazy to see. It's hypothetical upside. That's not the only reason. Another reason is because the way you take a look at it is that Veracity is this very unique project. And let me explain why. Because if you take a look at Veracity at its core, it aims to bring trust and transparency to digital advertising and as well as payments. Now, people may be thinking, okay, that's kind of boring. Who cares about that? Well, let me explain. Because if we take a look at something that is part of the Veracity ecosystem, I would say, right, it's something called VRA. Now, VRA, in very simple terms, if I would like to describe it, right, it's basically working to combat something called ad fraud. Now, why do people think that, this is boring? Well, here's the thing. It's because I don't think it's as interesting, but really, if you take a look at ad fraud, trying to combat that, I think is very genius. And I think it's something that's actually needed because if you take a look at it, right, even according to this article by Forbes, which is, kind of referencing a study, I would say, done by Juniper Research, it does say that it is estimated that by 2028, so it's not even that far away at this point, right, over $170 billion will be wasted due to ad fraud. That's not good, in my opinion. That's a lot, really. That's bigger than some countries' GDP. And that's predicted to just happen, let alone in just the world of like ad fraud. Wow, that's kind of crazy to think about, right? Now, I get it. People love meme coins. They love these fun projects. And don't get me wrong, so do I. But then when I take a look at Veracity, when I take a look at its grand vision, more specifically, when I take a look at Veriviews, what it's trying to achieve, really, this is something that's very special. Now, not to mention, right, some people may think, okay, like Veriviews is cool and all, but it's overly complicated. No one's going to use it. Well, let me reference some statistics because currently it has a setup time of around 5 minutes. So that's like, even shorter than this video, I'm probably assuming, right? However, of course, I'm going to continue on with the video. But even besides that, that's like shorter than many videos out there. 5 minutes. And setting this thing up, wow. Even besides that, it even has an accuracy rate of over 97%. So you got to imagine that. Veriviews, not only is it very easy to set up, very efficient, this is very wonderful. Now, of course, people may think, oh, this is so amazing. Why is the price of VRA going down? All this type of stuff. Well, again, that really depends on people panic selling in some cases, selling off, the market sentiment, how the overall general direction of the market is heading. It doesn't really indicate the fundamentals of a project. Because think about this, right? Okay, Bitcoin as of right now, price is around $85,000. Not too long ago, the price was around $100,000, right? Let's say we assume like, a baseline, $100,000 for, Bitcoin as of right now, $85,000. Let's say we put that scenario. Does that mean that Bitcoin fundamentally became 15% worse? No, that's not the case, right? We still have the Bitcoin ETF. Many people still love Bitcoin. Bitcoin still has a maximum supply of 21 million. It's not like those factors really change. So when it comes to VRA, it's no different. It's just the fact that it's a way smaller market cap, way less holders, way less fans, way less hype, way less exposure. So of course, as Bitcoin does go down, the percentage in which VRA goes down feels a little bit more amplified because it's this altcoin that really hasn't gained that established nature yet. So again, when people say, oh, the price of VRA is going down, that means it's bad. Well, maybe in terms of price action, of course, right? But then in terms of fundamentals, it doesn't mean that Veracity is bad. At least that's the way to take a look at it. Now, if we move beyond that, we'll see that when it comes to Vera views, it's not the only thing that is making up Veracity, so to speak. There's something called the Vera wallet, and allegedly, right, by staking VRA on the Vera wallet, rewards can reach up to 15% per year. So I think that's actually pretty decent. Now, some people may think it's kind of bad because, let's say someone staked their VRA and then like the price went down like 90%. Of course, I totally understand that. But then, I still don't think that VRA is that bad because if anything, right, the lower something is, the more room it has to grow theoretically, in my opinion. And also the lower something is, the more I'll be able to accumulate. At least that's the way I view it, because every single time I earn income, I'm acquiring VRA, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. That's it. I'm not saying that I only hold VRA. Of course, there's other projects in my portfolio, but I want to take a chance on VRA because the way you take a look at it is that the market cap is, relatively speaking, very low. Again, below $20 million. It feels like a meme coin type of thing in a sense that its hypothetical upside feels very fantastic, but then it's not a meme coin. So it's like a best of both worlds type of scenario. And it's not like 50 cents is even that crazy. If it were to go to that price, keep in mind that's around 286x from here. Now, it may seem a little bit insane. I'm totally aware of that. But really, if you take a look at the market cap I would have at that point, considering current circulating supply, it would be around $5 billion, which really doesn't seem that bad considering how Shiba Inu at one point reached around 40 billion, Dogecoin at one point reached over $80 billion, right, in terms of market cap. And this was back in 2021. So it's like years ago, and keep in mind, during the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. Now there's over 600 million. Really, I think that this could be a very special bull run. Now, of course, that figure is according to Crypto.com research. But, I just believe that what we saw back in 2021, I think it could be no match as to what we could hypothetically see this time around. But of course, only time will tell. And I'm going to stay patient. I'm not going to give up when it comes to VRA. And again, when people ask me, hey, is a million VRA enough? Of course, that's very subjective because some people may think that, this is a lot, this is not that much, or this is so, who knows, right? But personally, for me, when I just break down the numbers using simple mathematics, right? Simple math, basically, the way to take a look at it is that it doesn't seem so bad in my opinion. And personally, I think it's good enough for me. Again, I can't speak on anyone's behalf. I can't tell anyone to buy VRA, but altcoins, usually as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event, which based off the last Bitcoin halving event that happened in April of last year, and that would actually mean around October this year. Now, there's no surefire date, but if anything, I'm going to pay attention because even though each cycle is going to be different, historically, this has pretty much been the case. Now, again, hypothetically, I'm going to pay attention to that, and I'm not giving up. I'm going to pay attention to near the end of this year. I think with this many crypto owners, with the Bitcoin ETF, with the Ethereum ETF, I highly doubt that this born is going to be bad. And I'm staying patient, and again, 50 cents for VRA during this born wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. Greatly appreciated. It's only the captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.